John Chambers has arguably been the player of the night so far. Small sample size, yes, but played superbly in his match with Owley. That's actually weirdly probably the best break he's hit so far tonight, having hit 3 in the match with Owley. This one he's absolutely flushed. Didn't really do that in his first match, but wouldn't you know it, this is the one that's dry.
Great opportunity for both of these players, isn't it? That last result was actually fabulous for them both. You know, a win here for either of them just eliminates the other two. So what an opportunity for one of these two to get themselves in finals nights. And at the start of the tournament, you know, that is obviously, it feels a long way off. Right now it's 20 minutes and a match away.
Yeah, for fans of the 4-way 6-red shootout, what has to happen?
Draw in this match. Draw in this match, and then a reverse of the winners from the first 2 matches. So essentially this match finishes a draw, and then in the final 2 matches, Zach were to lose and John were to lose, and we'd be on a 4-way 6-red shootout, which would be fun for us. Maybe not so much for those 4. But what is interesting is that 2 players in this group, that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, sadly for Aaron and Owley, it's all they can hope for. It's the only way they can make it through is by a 4-way 6-red shootout. Aaron did make it through to this stage with a 3-way. Don't think he was planning on improving the drama of his victories, but
did Zach want that ball to be potted off the yellow? I don't know if he was trying to pot it clean or not. It certainly would have benefited him from moving that yellow away from the pocket to open it up for the 8 ball. The red does go past the yellow. It's not the full pocket, but it does go. So he may not have had that as an option. It may have been too big a gap. It may have been too much of a risk. But
is his plan maybe to leave the red close to the 8 ball till last and maybe use the middles for the 8 ball?
Yeah, just play underneath the 8 ball for sure. But you can never have it too easy. If there's an opportunity to make it easy, you take it. That's got awkward.
Yeah, the 2 balls at the bottom for that sort of plan that I just mentioned connect really nicely if you go red to bottom right nice and straight, red to bottom left nice and straight, sort of dot to dot really, but getting there from this ball is now difficult.
Yeah, because he's leaving a red at the top of the table, which is the last thing he wanted to do. If he's straight in left centre here, then he can connect them all together.
Needs to find a really good cue ball here.
That flick doesn't hurt him either. That's an excellent shot. He could have come down the table then, taken the one to bottom right, but he would have left himself a bad angle on the one to top left to get on the one at the bottom of the table to get underneath the 8 ball. So really well thought out shot, and the little flick didn't hurt him at all. He's actually landed really nicely here because now he's dropping in.
Yeah, I was fearful with that flick. Thought it might just damage the chances, but actually he's come up smelling of roses as Zach Shepherd.
This has to go, otherwise he would have gone about the... Yeah, comfortably goes. He's fine. It's just the way he was looking then. I was like, this isn't that tight, is it? I guess he was looking to see whether he had enough angle to maybe use the bottom cushion to get on this 8 ball to right centre, because it's a much easier pot to right centre, but he should still make this one comfortably enough.
Well, finish. It was tricky. And Zach Shepherd gets it done off the break. Looks focused and fired up, does Zach.
That was very impressive. That shot to the centre pocket. You heard the big sigh when he went wrong positionally, but that pot to centre pocket with the good cue ball that went with it, absolutely excellent. And I know we talked about it a lot at the start of the night, but this just feels like a different Zach Shepherd to the one that we've watched for the last few years.
Very good. Break. Lead him on for him to help.
crunch. Really caught those. I think he actually gets a little slug racked here, because you look at the cue ball there, and I think he timed it beautifully. Probably expects a little bit more, but he still managed to force something.
Red and yellow have gone together on the left-hand side, which is the big problem if you want to go reds here. The yellows are awkward on the right-hand side, but there's an argument to go yellows, and you can play the 3-ball plant. You can't play the red-yellow combination. You can't play a dirty combination. You have to go for the colour you're looking at. I think there was an argument for yellows. I know it was going to be an awkward, potentially 3-ball plant. Maybe if you had a better opener on yellows that didn't have to play the plant to start off with, maybe yellows, but I think these reds are so tough that it's going to be a struggle from here.
Oh, that was creative.
It was aggressive. The double off the plant into the corner. That was very, very, very aggressive.
Well, I mentioned it in the first match that Ẓack is genuinely one of the most creative shot makers we've ever seen. You know, some of the shots that he's made, he's got his own little highlight reel, really. But I mean, that was incredible creativity.
You have to say it was. Obviously, it didn't work. So ultimately, it got a little bit fortunate for it to come out so kindly for him. It didn't open up the yellows and made a bit of a mess of the table. Could have gone out a lot worse for him.
Prepared to wait this time around, messes up the yellows a little bit more. And a big reason for that will be the red that's gone very safe at the top of the table, courtesy of John's last shot. A little bit of cat and mouse here.
I think the fans of the 4-way 6-red shootout might just be leaning forward in their chair a little bit more, because this drawn-out frame could shorten this matchup.
Came closer than we've ever had before in the group that contained Carl Morris this year. We've had, this is the 5th Champions League. We've had 4 pairs cups. So I think
a couple of mixed pairs in there as well.
A couple of mixed pairs. I think we're on for maybe 350 Monday nights or something like that, give or take.
It's a lot. Yeah, I don't think we're maybe not quite that many. Maybe 150 to 200.
Yeah, around the 200 mark.
Yeah,
maths has never been my strong point, as regular viewers of this show will know.
Essentially, every Monday night for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so 250. But yeah, well, my point is, that's a lot of attempts essentially for a 4-way 6-red shootout. What's harder? A hole-in-one, a 9-darter, a 147, or a 4-way 6-red shootout?
Yeah,
I think it's the latter.
Yeah,
we've never seen one.
No, I mean, one thing you would say is that the one earlier on this year with Carl Morris, it was favourite. It reached a point where it was absolutely favourite that it was going to happen. And Carl Morris did what he does not do very often, and he mistimed things.
Yeah, as you can tell, we've still not forgiven him.
No.
Cat and mouse continues here. Table looks different than it did a couple of minutes ago, but it's still not easy on either colour set. There's still problems to be solved. We saw right at the start of the show, John Chambers' signature moment in his group win earlier on in the tournament came by busting open a frame that looked a little bit like this. A frame he was, in that instance, very far behind in, and went for a finish that Simon Webb was screaming at him not to go for. And you still think he shouldn't have done, but that's beside the point. Made it. Is he going to have to do something similar here?
It's a good shot from Ẓack, getting that yellow off the table, playing the loss of turn. Remember, as long as you hit your own ball, you can take your opponents off the table. Makes for a very progressive tactical exchange.
Yeah, without the loss of turn rule, we could be here all night on this frame. Is that going to reach? No, it isn't. And it's going to foul because it hasn't hit a cushion after contact.
Interesting decision now for Zach then. Difficult to, even with ball in hand, open up his red and yellow that are together and awkward. So how does he further his chances in this frame? If he tries to open these up, there's no guarantee he lands on anything, and therefore John gets an advantage through fouling. There's a lot on this shot.
Oh, he's not going to go in off, is he? No, he isn't.
It's come out okay-ish. I mean, the red passes the yellow to the top corner and he's on it, but he's bridging over the yellow, and he's got to find a very difficult positional shot. The line's available, but he's crossing the line and he's going to have to land pretty plumb.
I don't think John's unhappy with fouling there in this result. You know, I think he's sat there thinking, I've still got a chance here.
Yeah, I'm reserving judgment till after this shot. Yeah, John will be happy.
Great opportunity.
Kind of looking back, what else could Zach do other than, I mean, there was nothing he could do to kind of further his chances. I don't think there was any easy loss of turn shots available which would have done that for him.
Well, the issue is he could have played a loss of turn, the plant essentially up to top left, which gets rid of John's yellow that's in his way. But then John's got no other problems. All the yellows go, it's in open table essentially. He couldn't hide the white.
I think he had to play the original loss of turn though. He couldn't leave that as it was. Once he gets cue ball in hand, I mean, it's so easy to sit here, because if he doesn't get hampered queuing, then I back him to make that ball and land on the ball he needs to, and he gets out, and we're talking about a great shot, but he needed good things to go his way.
John Chambers also here needs things to go his way.
Yeah, do you move into the yellow, or do you get rid of the yellow to bottom left and try and get back to where he is now, which is perfect to play short position on the yellow that's obviously the problem. Now arguably he has too much angle. Can he drop this in dead weight and get on the yellow to bottom to left centre? Delicately use the pocket. Yeah. A couple of really good shots there. Well worked out to kind of know you've got to get rid of one to open up the pocket for the other, and had to really force that to get back up for it. So, to land so nicely. A couple of excellent shots, and should be simple now.
Oh, lovely counter clearance here from John Chambers. His frame took some working out. It's 1-1 with 6.5 minutes to go, and by the time referee 𝗟𝗏𝗃 finishes racking these balls, looking at what, 5.5 minutes, 1-1. Winner, remember, goes top of the group with just one more match to play.
Oli and Aaron are thinking, how about 2 more finishes off the break would be nice. One apiece. Use up the 2 minutes and change on each, and no buzzer beater, and thanks very much. We'll move on to the final round of games.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Break through. John Chambers to break. One frame.
It's not bad. He's made a ball and the split's okay. It's probably going to be yellows, which are fine. They just need to be worked. That was nice to have that angle to be able to screw into the red first of all, because it dealt with the hardest ball straight away. Now it just has to be careful when you transition down the table, because you can land on the 3 at the bottom. If you can land on the highest one to left centre, fair, you know, as straight as you can, then the others all unfold nice and easily. If you have any angle on there, you can get a little bit loose. You could transition down the other way and maybe that top one passes to the bottom right, but you don't have the ball to do it with. He's left a little bit more angle here than he wants to. So he might come all the way down the table to play on that yellow I talked about here. He has. And the flick he gets there, but that flick just hurts him. Without the flick, he's perfect. So you can hear the sigh out there. This is thinner, and he's going to flick off the other yellow. That's why he's played the double. He played the double, not the treble. Treble, then the plant that isn't the way he drew up this finish when he started it, but it's still going to get there.
Yeah, that's John's brother we just saw there, fellow Ultimate Pool pro Rob Boom Chambers. He was watching along maybe with a little bit of bemusement himself.
There was no reaction from John. Oh, he's played a loose one here. I don't think the 8 ball goes top left. He was playing for it in the centre.
He's going to need
it does go. He's lining it up. He got way too close to it. It's been a little bit more of a ragged finish, this one, but he won't care if this goes in.
Doesn't matter how you get them, just that you do. John Chambers leads. 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the match.
I ended up just hitting it. Sorry.
Apologises to Zach because he's having a little bit of banter out there. He is a great character, is John.
Zach seems to have taken that well.
Yeah, I don't know whether he played. I said at the time he didn't play the treble. He may have done, but I don't know why you would in that situation. The double was on, and he missed the cannon he was trying to get. So I think he just got the shot wrong, but he didn't kind of raise his hand, which a lot of players would do in that situation. I'm not too bothered whether they do or they don't. It doesn't change the situation, but a lot of players acknowledge. So maybe he did play the treble and just missed the cannon he was looking for, but kind of I had to do a lot more work than he was planning. About right, Zach Shepherd said there. Can get hot under the collar out there. He's done a really good job, has Zach, over the last few months in kind of just reining in the temperament, and I'm sure if he gets back to the table in this visit or in this frame, he would do the same here. But right now he's feeling very hot out there with what John just did in the previous frame and breaking dry here.
Sometimes you can't blame him. It can be a game that just chews up your emotions.
Yeah. I never mind a player getting annoyed out there. I mean, and he's not really done much wrong. He's just, sounds about right. But as long as you don't take it into your next visit. Fortunately for Zach, he might not get another visit in this match. John's in prime position here. That was tricky because he wanted to be straight on the red to right centre, but the 8 ball was in the way. It was a delicate shot and he had to force it back to be on the next ball. But even if he makes it, he's going to have a bad angle to get on the last ball. So what a visit to the table we've got here. Just a minute 10 seconds. And if Zach can clear up here, we're all square with no time left on the clock.
Try and hide the giddiness from your voice, Mr. Webb.
Well, this is good news for the other 2 players in this group right now. A lot riding on this visit to the table.
Yeah, only Bale was sat in the arena watching this, and I can tell you he's praying Zach Shepherd cleans up.
Now, for Zach, he's got to be clever here and make it a buzzer beater. If he leaves,
𝗨𝗽𝗱𝗵𝗄 is locked in.
if he leaves time on the clock here, John Chambers will have the break and the opportunity for the golden break. There won't be enough time for a reverse clearance or a break clearance, so Zach has to make this a buzzer beater.
Just to run out the
poor
clock.
shot. It's a really poor shot.
Oh no. Oh, wow. Handshakes in, Zach Shepherd misses out by a super tight margin, and John Chambers, I don't think he can quite believe he's got out of there with a win, but he has, and he goes top of the group in the last 16 and eliminates 𝗨𝗽𝗱𝗵𝗄 in the process, along with Aaron Davies. It's not all over for Zach Shepherd, but he needs some help. John Chambers has 1 foot in the final 4.